guys ready?
We're ready.
All right. So this is to call to order the Signal Mountain Town Council meeting for Monday, July 11th, 2022. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, have a short moment of silence. Okay, can we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Elizabeth Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Vicki Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Andrew Gardner.
Here.
Vice Mayor Susanna Murdoch.
Here.
Mayor Charles Poss.
Here. All right, has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes for June 13th, June 18th, and June 27th?
Yes.
And does anybody have any suggested changes?
No.
I didn't see anything.
Move to approve.
A second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. That takes care of 3 sets of minutes. So we're now at the portion for citizens' opportunity to address council. And we actually have 3 sections where the citizens can address council. And you guys are welcome to address council whenever you want, but I would suggest, or I would offer, that if you want to address council on the issue of the stormwater fee rate or on the issue of the budget, that it might be good to wait till those topics come up. The first time to address council is generally a general time to talk about general stuff that you might have on your mind. Then we have 2 specific areas where we can talk about the stormwater fee rate increase and the budget. So you guys can do what you want, but I was just going to make that suggestion if you have those specific topics in mind to wait till those topics come up. So having said that, would anyone like to address the council? You guys decide who goes first. All right.
Go ahead. You can go first. Sure? All right, this is going to be a doozy.
Well, maybe not.
Does this thing work?
Yes.
Yes.
And if you'll state your name and address first, that'd be great.
Debbie Williams, 304 Creekshire Drive, Signal Mountain, Tennessee.
Okay.
I am here to address a very serious subject that has come upon us and that I believe is going to continue, and it is the matter of fireworks being set off in the neighborhoods of Signal Mountain. You might know and remember that we do have very specific statutes or ordinances in the municipal code that prohibits it, and we have a restricted use of fireworks, and we also have a noise ordinance. I have a copy of all of that for you. May I approach you all and pass it out?
Sure.
Well, here, can I give it
Yes,
to
you can,
just
Ms.
now?
Williams. Thank you so much.
So last Monday night, July 4th, was the 4th night of fireworks, at least in my neighborhood. It was terrible. I have never in 25 years of living here experienced anything like that. As soon as the sun went down, the booms began. I have no idea who the people were. I live down at the bottom of Hidden Brook, and I'm kind of down in a holler. So for me, it was just mystery bombs going off. And this happened, it happened every night, July 1, 2, 3, but the 4th was clearly the worst. I have never been more frightened in my life. I had such loud noises in my backyard. I literally thought I was in a war zone. And it was extremely disheartening. My dogs were scared to death. My cats didn't know what was going on, and frankly, I was frightened. At one point, I found myself out in the front yard, literally yelling, "Stop!" as loud as I could. Of course, they didn't. So these ordinances specifically state that fireworks are not allowed in the town except for very specific exceptions, and none of those applied to these people. These were just people down in Hidden Brook shooting off what I felt like bombs. And the noise ordinance, you'll see that there's very specific amounts of noise that can be basically allowed from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. There are things like 60 decibels or 70 decibels or even 80, you'll see in the ordinance. Fireworks can reach 150 decibels of sound. They are as loud as a jet engine taking off at the airport. We have got to do something about enforcing this. I want you all to start talking about it. There are a lot of us that are very upset about this, and we would like your input and possibly some way to change it. So next 4th of July, we don't have a lot of very scared people. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Do you all have any questions?
No, I assume the police probably, I would assume they step up their patrols on July 4th knowing what's coming, but I don't know.
No. And honestly, as God is my witness, during the 2 hours I had the bombs in my backyard, it was so loud, I couldn't have even called the police if I had wanted to. I turned my TV up as loud as I could possibly stand it. It didn't even make a dent on the noise. This is the worst it's ever been in 25 years. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to talk about fireworks.
Oh, okay, same topic. If you don't mind, Mr. Graham, we'll...
I'm Alex Parks. My address is 920 Glamis Circle. That's in Burnham Wood. We've been at that same address since 1969, and this 4th of July was the absolute worst. I am a wildlife rehabilitator, specifically for birds of prey. I have large aviaries in my backyard, and I was concerned that I would walk out the next morning and there would be death. I brought some photographs of birds and one bat as examples of what I see on the 4th of July and the day after. The most horrible one was one that actually happened here on Single Mountain 2 years ago. Sales of fireworks have nearly doubled since 2019. And the issue is with the Roman candles, mortars and mortar racks, missiles and artillery shells, and all aerial fireworks are the real problem. They can be bought in 500-gram cakes, and they do sound like bombs. They are louder than grenades. Our quiet neighborhood becomes a sonic war zone. It terrorizes domestic animals, wildlife, and humans with ear-splitting, realistic sounds of war in a combat environment. We have an obligation to protect the environment and to coexist with other species. Anything that destroys the wildlife of an area is a crime, and it is a violation of the relationship between man and the wild. The law is already written. It needs to be vigorously enforced. And I think we should increase funding for enforcement and also for education. I think many of the people that have moved to Signal Mountain recently may not be aware of the law. And that's my input.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
We don't want to keep your pictures, so...
Questions?
Thank you. I just add that from personal experience, I think what's changed, because I live in Hidden Brook as well, and it was certainly the loudest I've heard in the 4 years I've lived in Hidden Brook.
Right.
And there have been a lot of people moving here, so I think education, you're right, is a very important component.
And I felt like I wanted to call the police, But there was so much of it going on, I don't think that they would have been able to do anything.
Well, to provide more to that story, I had a complaint from a citizen and brought that to the police's attention. I think, judging by what I was hearing, I don't know how it could possibly have been enforced. So to me, education is really what needs to improve, because I think we have a lot of people that don't even understand.
Large fines against the ones that are perpetuating this and are just completely out of control. The people straight behind me, they must have spent $2,000 at least on the big fireworks. Apparently, fireworks are available online, and you can buy them from places like Mexico. These are illegal fireworks, too. I don't know what they were shooting. I wanted to go down and confront them, but I decided that would be a bad idea. And I did yell at them like Debbie did. I screamed at them, and I know they heard me, but it didn't stop. They started right back.
Well,
But the fines of $5,000 would be adequate, but any kind of large fine would stop it. When somebody has to pay out a large fine, even $500, would curtail it.
And I would say that from the time I think that complaint went in, at least my experience was, and I think that the police did go do something. So I don't think that the response was zero.
Right,
I do
no.
think that there was only a limited amount that could have been done, because it seemed like it'd stop over here and then start back up.
Exactly.
And,
That was my thoughts too.
The increase wasn't just for the
okay, yeah.
The increase, I think, was definitely, I mean, at least in my neighborhood, and I've gotten a couple other phone calls this week about, not just in these select neighborhoods, that it was kind of town-wide, that it seemed to get a lot worse.
A lot worse, yeah. And it's going to increase, I think.
all right, well, thank you for bringing it to our attention, and sorry about the trouble you guys have had.
I'd like to talk to, just for a moment. I'm Kay Wallace. I'm at 2312 Covington Cove in Windtree subdivision, out at the other end of the mountain, where we have lots of wonderful woods. And after the barrage of 4 full days of fireworks, as Debbie mentioned, from the time about 9:15, it started even before dark. It started Friday, went on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and of course Monday. And as I pointed to my husband with the calendar, I said, next year we're going to have 5 days of this, because they always start on the weekend, so we'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday next year, if we don't get this under control. In previous years, we've had a couple of days, but this year it was 4 days, 4 full days and nights into the 11 o'clock hour out in our subdivision out there. And after the 4th of July, on July the 5th, Les and I had to make a trip out early in the morning, and I cannot tell you how many deer we saw running, panicked. It was almost not safe to drive because they were so frightened. So we need to get this under control, figure out how it can be eliminated if possible. I know that people are going to celebrate the 4th of July. I don't have any qualms about that. They can celebrate the 4th of July respectfully, but this business of 4, and next year I'm thinking 5 days, please, let's do something. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to address council?
My name is Dick Graham, 405 James Boulevard, and I'm here to give you the report on the MAC, what's happening this month there. We had, on the 2nd of July, we had the market at MAC, and it was a pretty successful market, considering that it was the weekend, holiday weekend, when a lot of people are out of town. Had 35 vendors, and most of them will be coming back, along with some others for the August. There are still already people signing up for the August market. On Thursday this week, July 14th, we're having a mayoral candidates forum. The Democrat and Republican candidates for county mayor will be there. and like for everybody to come out and hear what they have to say. We've been soliciting questions for the past couple of weeks, and we have a pretty good list of questions now about issues facing the county generally, and there are a few about the mountaintop here, about everybody working together up here and how they feel about helping foster that, move that along. So that starts at 7 o'clock on Thursday, so I hope you can all come out for that. On Saturday night, on the 16th, we have a concert by Grafted Culture, and they're an interesting sister duo. They originated in the Netherlands, lived in Papua New Guinea for a long time, and now live in a very small town in West Tennessee. Can't remember the name of it right now. It's only 3,000 people, I think. But they have some interesting music. They're sort of a indie music, pop music. They do a lot of original compositions of their own, as well as some covers. And along with that, we're trying something new. We have a dinner before that you can also purchase, and it's being catered by Daily Ration, who will be opening up a restaurant here on the mountain, hopefully in not too distant future. So they'll be doing that. They'll have the meals there. And I'll pass these out to you with some QR codes if you want to purchase tickets or the dinner. And I'll also have these in the lobby if anyone wants to use that also. Let's see, the next, at the end of the month, we have another group coming, Sunshine Nights. They're from Brooklyn. They're an Americana type music, and they'll be here on the 30th. We've had summer camps this week continuing. This week we had pottery and a theater camp, and they've both been well attended. Our pottery studio is moving ahead, not as fast as we wanted. We're hoping to have it open by August 1st. We had a little bit of a setback. We had to buy a new kiln, setback in time and money on that one. That was an expense we didn't think we were going to have. So if anybody would like to donate to the pottery studio, we're still taking donations. You can go to our website, signalmac.org/pottery studio, and make a donation there. We're also beginning just the very beginnings of the work on a recording studio at the MAC that can be used by students, or anybody can rent. We'll be able to rent the space to make demo records, or, well, not records anymore, demo whatever they are. I don't know, MP3s, I guess. So we're getting that underway, and Nathan Bell and Chip Hancock, two of our teachers, are the ones who are spearheading that and getting that underway. We're also working with the Mountain Arts Theater Company, here, a group here on the mountain, for a play this fall at the MAC, and we're beginning to work in a collaborative effort with the Chattanooga Theater Center to also bring some of their plays up here for the MAC. So that's it. That's what we have.
All right, thank you.
I really appreciate your partnership with the
Who's going to moderate the debate that you're having?
Greg, the forum?
The forum?
Yeah, Greg Glover.
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you. I know there was one other gentleman in the back. You can state your name and address.
Good evening. My name's Fred Edgman. I live at 309 James Boulevard. I'm here to basically question the council. Why the taxpayers have wasted $231,000 since January of 2018 on firefighters that are no longer here. I reached out through the town's open records policy, or the request form. Since 2018, we have lost 20 firefighters. There is 29 firefighters assigned right now. That's 2/3 of the department. We have the $231,000 is gone. We spent that on uniforms, which is $1,415 to equip a firefighter, $8,000 for every bit of structural firefighting gear, training EMT school at $3,400 a semester. That's $231,000. And I started to think about this, and like I say, I'll be glad to forward you all this information here. It's all from the town. But I started to question, what's going on here? These firefighters are making nothing. This is one of the lowest paid departments in Hamilton County. I've reached out to several other departments. Many departments are making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 more. You know, at this day and time, a starting firefighter is making, let me make sure my numbers are right here, $37,000 for the town of Signal Mountain, and that's including if they work the 156 hours of overtime. So I did a little research on that. That is if they work every single shift. If they take off where the town gives them time off, according to the hours, that could bump them out of the overtime. So the minimum a firefighter makes is $34,000 roughly if they take off time. So they were being penalized for taking off, which the town is giving them the time off, but that is putting them under the Federal Labor Standard Act of basically getting kicked out of the overtime budget. The other thing that blows my mind, between a beginning firefighter and a firefighter with 5 years of experience, is $1 difference in hourly rate. How is that justifiable to pay $1 more for someone who has been here for 5 years? This is not a career over here. This is just it's just a little turnaround. There is no way anybody's going to come here and work at this pay when they can go to Chattanooga, Red Bank, East Ridge, Hamilton County EMS. All these departments are paying. I mean, y'all have done the pay studies. We've done all the pay studies. The town needs to step up, pay these people what they're worth. They've been getting a bargain for way too long. If you need to go up on taxes, do it. Because when these people pull out, we're not going to pick up garbage, or we're not putting cones out. They're going to somebody's worst day of their life. And it very well could be one of y'all, your family, it could be me. And I want to make sure that these people have the experience and they're paid well. I want the person showing up to, if I have a fire that's got years of experience. Eventually, 20 people have left, and 2 years from now, if we keep this rate up, what are we going to be at? The town owes everything to our employees up here, but most importantly, these people. Nobody has beaten the door down to come work here. 20 people have left. I can't imagine people just dying to come work here at $37,000 a year when every other department is paying 15, 20% more, plus better benefits. This has gone on for way too long. I started over there in 2004 as a part-time firefighter making $6.43 an hour. I was thankful for the guys that had been there a while. They said, go somewhere else to work. And I went and started my career somewhere else. Signal Mountain, since I have lived up here, has always paid the lowest. But at this point, people are not wanting to come here and work for the fire department. And we've got to do something about it. Go up on taxes. Do whatever you got to do. Everything they do, they can do everything by the book and still get killed. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council? All right. The next item on the agenda is the town council acting as the beer board. We have a application by Paul Smith to reinstate the temporary beer permit.
I'd like to make a motion that we reinstate the permit and waive the fee.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. All right, we have a number of resolutions, which we'll now get into. The first resolution is a resolution authorizing the town manager to submit an application for the Public Entity Partners Safety Partners Loss Controls Matching Grant Program, which shall be awarded in September of 2022. A lot of documentation, and it looks like it's only the police department that can take advantage of this. I don't know what level we are. Do you know what level, Elaine?
Level 3.
Level 3, okay. So that's a pretty good benefit, up to $2,000.
Yes.
Does anybody have any? No, we don't have a motion. Do you want to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion needed? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. The next resolution is a resolution authorizing funds in the amount of $21,000 for the agreement with CTI Engineers, Inc. for professional design and project management services for a water line relocation associated with a TDOT stormwater project for an amount not to exceed $21,000. We have the contract for that is,
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
okay. Is this just a routine addition to that project or part of that project?
This is, and I would like to comment that we do expect to recover 90% of this back, or it is reimbursable.
Okay,
So
all right.
we should be reimbursed roughly 90%.
All right. Is that the same with the next one where we're paying
It is.
extra? Okay.
It is. Both of these TDOT reimbursement projects.
All right. Excellent. Okay. Any other discussion or any other information needed? All right. we have a-
Motion to approve.
Do we have a motion? I think we have a motion.
Yeah, we have a motion.
I'm sorry. I'm just jumping straight
You do
ahead.
the next one. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. Okay. The next resolution is a resolution authorizing additional funds in the amount of $8,000 for the agreement with CTI Engineers Incorporated for professional design, bidding, and project management services for a water line relocation associated with the TDOT slope stabilization project between Palisades Road and Signal Mountain Boulevard for an amount not to exceed $8,000.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Next is a resolution authorizing the town manager to execute an amendment and extension to the water purchase agreement with Tennessee American Water Company, hereinafter referred to as TNAW. We discussed this at our work session recently, and seems like the right thing to do. I don't know if Harry's had a chance to look at the amendment.
I have looked at the amendment.
Okay, everything okay with it?
It is if you want to extend to 2030.
All right. So that is the question. We reduce the number of gallons that we're required to purchase every year, but we do extend the time for the contract.
So with that extension, how does that affect our purchase rate through 2030? I mean, are we going to have like all the riders and everything put on as they happen there, or is there a certain, does that affect anything differently than our last contract, or more specifically the contract before the last one?
No.
No, it does not. So we're locking in the rate per 1,000 gallons, but the capital riders will still be there, just as they have been.
Okay.
Yeah, I think certain sections are replaced, but the rest of the contract would remain the same, other than those sections.
Yeah, all we're doing is lowering the usage amount, minimum usage amount, and extending the date. We still also obviously have our 12-month clause that if we are unsatisfied, we can cancel the agreement with 12 months written notice.
All right.
All right?
Do you have a motion on that?
No.
I'll make a motion on that.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
I've got one other question. Do we know at this point, when we had watched the discussion with WRUD concerning interconnect, if there's anything in the contract currently that prevents,
There is not,
other than the minimum?
It directly references that and states that that is allowed. It's pretty cut and dry as well. Perfect. It directly references that.
All right. Any other questions? It references what, having an interconnect, or it's acceptable?
Yeah, having an interconnect, and buying, purchasing in an emergency, as well as selling under circumstances. All we really have to do is notify them that we're doing it.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Discussion? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, passes. The next resolution is a resolution appointing Jim Webster to the Town of Signal Mountain's Tree Board. I don't know if ever,
Do we have 2 openings, or do we just have one and we have to pick one of these applicants?
that's a good question.
We have 2 openings, right? 3.
Barbara said there were 2 openings.
It's in,
Okay.
2 openings.
Okay, very good, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, I noticed in here, one of the questions was, where was it? Do you have any employment or contractual relationship with the Town of Signal Mountain that would create a continuing or frequently recurring contract? I don't know that it's even applicable, but he had submitted a quote for, doing the town meeting room. I don't know that that's really a conflict that they're talking about there, but I just wanted to make sure, because I don't know if and that's his company, not him, so.
Yeah.
But he might want to.
Is it a conflict?
It doesn't seem like it is, but I just want to make sure of that. That we know whether that would be it's really not really a continuing or frequently recurring conflict, but it is something that could come into play. I don't know, Harry, do you have any thoughts on if he submits a bid to do work for the town? I think we had somebody on the planning
Well, I
commission.
know, I think he's already on, I guess that's the Hemlock Conservation Task Force. I don't think that is a conflict that needs to concern the council.
Okay, I don't think it's him anyway, it's his company he works for, but just wanted to make sure, because I don't want to create any problems. All right, so we have a motion, and do we have a motion?
Yes.
And a second?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No? All right. Next is a resolution appointing Darrington Crane to the Town of Signal Mountain's Tree Board.
I'll make a motion.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion to approve.
Yes, motion to approve.
Goes without saying,
All right.
but maybe it should be said.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'd just like to express my gratitude to these guys. I think the tree board is such important work in our town, and I think it's great to have it filled up. I know that our trees are our best resource, or one of our best resources.
All right, thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. All right. Next is a resolution rescinding Resolution 2020-18, which declared the state of emergency within the corporate limits of the town of Signal Mountain, Tennessee, related to the COVID-19 pandemic. This is another item I think we talked about at our work session, and the former resolution is attached. So, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And do we have a second? I'll second. Any discussion?
I would like to just say that I think this is really important that we do this now, although we have to be mindful that COVID is always changing. And I know that Hamilton County was just made a high-risk county. So I'm sure that Ms. Brunell is going to keep an eye on that, and when and if we have to change something, that we'll be able to do so quickly. So I just wanted to put that in the meeting minutes so that people, when they see the minutes, they understand that we're doing this knowing that things will change in the future and that we'll be ready for it.
Yeah, I just found out today that Hamilton County has put in some sort of change their status. All right, any other comments or discussion? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. All right, that's all the motions. We now have a public hearing regarding the 2022 through 2023 stormwater fee rate increase. Is there anyone here who would like to talk about that issue, that rate increase? Okay. That will come up a little bit in a minute. We have, the next item on the agenda is a budget year review. This is something that was made available to everybody if they wanted a copy. And we're gonna do a little bit of a presentation in 5 parts from the town council, and please excuse us if anybody's reading from it and we haven't had it memorized, but pretend like it's memorized. I'll start. So this is a budget year review, basically just to give you guys an idea of what's gone on and what we plan to do in the future of this budget. To begin with, for the first time in 8 years, we had to find a new town manager after our prior town manager retired at the beginning of December 2021. We were lucky to hire a short-term interim town manager whose knowledge and skill were instrumental in helping us move forward and improve some processes. We did not find the right fit in the first town manager search, so we hired a second short-term interim town manager and went through the interviewing process again. This time we hired a town manager, and if anybody attended some of our recent meetings, you know, shortly after entering into a contract with him, it became apparent that he didn't value Signal Mountain as much as we did, and we agreed to mutually part ways. But fate was at work because we were able to hire Elaine Brunell as a long-term interim town manager. She was initially unable to go through the interview process, but had become available only days before we contacted her to consider a long-term interim position. And we were lucky, or we are lucky, to have Elaine at the helm and appreciate the great things she's been able to do in her short time on the job. So I will turn it over to Ms. Anderson.
All right. So I'm going to talk about a few things that this council's done that are accomplishments, things that we feel like that we're excited that we've been able to participate in and make happen. One is in February, we did a session where we did some strategic leadership planning. We participated in a session led by Hannah Rogers, where we edited the strategic plan that was developed in the mid-2000s, so it had been a while. So what we did was we reconstructed the mission and vision statement, and our new vision statement, I'm going to read it. The mission of the town of Signal Mountain is to provide residents with high-quality services through efficient use of resources and open government, while curating growth and sustainability in order to preserve the town's beauty and small-town character. And then from that, we made some goals. And some of them are to continue looking at a long-term financial plan for our town, to better serve citizens, to improve technology, and then also to look at how to innovate to save time and money for the employees and our citizens, and also to make sure that we have the capacity to really listen to our citizens and engage them as stakeholders in our town. Another thing that we've done, and this was the first time in history that we've done in the town, is we've partnered with MTASC to have a department by department review of each department in our town, looking at efficiencies, looking at what's done well and what we can improve on, looking at places where we can change. You know, sometimes you can just tweak one little thing and it makes everything streamlined and it saves money and time. So we're in the process of doing that with every department. We just finished Public Works. It was really exciting. They gave us like a really thick book to read, and in the data that was collected from our Public Works department, it showed what a great job they did. As a matter of fact, it was a very affirming experience for the employees in that department. I spoke with Ms. Hopper last week about it, to talk with her, and she shared that it was something that it gave feedback to her folks of what a good job they do. So we're doing that with every department. So in the next year or so, we'll hear that for every department, and it costs the town nothing. So we're just looking to improve and tighten up. And the last thing that we've done is this council has reestablished decorum and civil discourse among our council. We agreed to operate through respectful discourse, debate, and consensus making. The tone of the meetings is collaborative and respectful, and it's efficient. We've committed to be in unity together as we debate and discuss issues. We don't agree on everything. As a matter of fact, we shouldn't, because then what's the point of a town council? You gotta be able to disagree and decide. But we have been able to do that, and it's given us the opportunity to work very productively and to really make some improvements that we're proud of. We also we're very committed to making sure that we are ethical in what we do, that we ethically engage together. We don't debate on public media. We respect the Sunshine Law. We don't have any kind of conversations that are illegal in the background. There's no backroom deals here. We do everything ethically, and we take that very seriously. So we're really excited as a council about the things that we have done and about how we're setting ourselves up in the town up to move forward.
Thank you. Andrew?
Thanks, Vicki. I get to talk about everybody's favorite subject, finance. It is mine, though. We've had several key retirements in our finance and related functions over the last year. We appreciate the work of those folks. They did an excellent job keeping our town straight from an accounting and budgetary standpoint. But in any area, particularly with finance, kind of new staff can bring a fresh perspective and help bring ideas for improvements and often needed improvements as a result. We're thankful for the work already performed by Jennifer Bromfield and the team to identify where processes can be improved and modernized, and we're excited for that work to continue. One such example relates to our assurance and documentation processes. While the past audits for the town have been clean, it's unclear to me whether this trend will continue. Last month, the council was made aware of requests from the state comptroller's office relating to the 2020 and 2021 fiscal year. Jennifer and her team have already addressed this and these deficiencies and have fixed them going forward, so that we don't have those same findings. However, this is just one example for me of evidence that where we need some improvement, and we're going to continue to work on it. And Jennifer and the team's work is not complete in this respect, and must continue and will continue as we move forward. I'm excited to see the team continue to improve the security of our financial processes and provide the solid, transparent accounting and budget information that citizens require.
All right. Elizabeth.
Thank you, Andrew, and Vicki, and Jennifer. So I'm going to talk a little bit about transition and personnel. When the entire administrative staff from Town Hall retired or transferred to another department this year, we knew it would be a period of transition. In the beginning, we didn't anticipate that it would be a 6-month long transition. This past year, we've seen many new faces join Town Hall, and each new staff member has brought their talents and their strong work ethic to benefit the town and the citizens of Signal Mountain. It's to the credit of the longtime loyal staff members that services to citizens have not been interrupted this year. Over the past 6 or 7 months, I've seen those citizens go above and beyond every day in service to the citizens. They took responsibility for their positions and positions that were unfilled at the time. They're really the ones that have gotten the town through the transition. So current staffing levels, we have 5 openings currently throughout the town. Department heads are actively interviewing candidates for 3 of those positions, and they should be filled within the next couple of weeks. Turnover rate over the town has had. Can people hear me? I feel like. Should I get
super well? You're a little muffled.
I'm so sorry.
Obviously, mask muffles you.
I was a close contact this week, and so I'm following
That's fine.
CDC regulation. Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. So the turnover rate is something I want to discuss. The town had 7 people retire this past budget year, and that's the most on record in a single year. We also had 14 other staff members move on to new careers or opportunities, and of course, we wish everyone well. Comparing the town's turnover rate in a record-breaking year shows that we actually didn't fare too badly. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the average turnover rate, excluding retirement, seasonal, and temporary employees in local government, was 20.2% in 2021 and 22.1% from January through April of 2022. In the past 12 months, the town's turnover rate is 13.2%. The credit for the lower than average turnover rate goes to our department heads. Their professionalism and leadership have seen us through the national Great Resignation event that we were experiencing through a historical number of retirements in the town. In 2021-2022 budget year, the council adopted a new pay scale, which was recommended by Mr. Veal and Burris Thompson, the firm that Mr. Veal hired for the pay study and a new pay scale. The council allocated the requested amount of $230,000 to invest in the workforce and implement the pay scale. Implementing the pay scale fell to the town administration as it was an operational procedure. This year in the proposed budget, the council has allocated $450,000 for current workforce investment. We've allocated $300,000 to be used for retention bonuses. And while we acknowledge that those are one-time bonuses, we have also allocated an additional $150,000 to be used by the town manager for merit raises and to start addressing the pay scale inequities. In addition to the $450,000 in workforce investment, we have, in this proposed budget, the council has allocated funding for 2 new positions. Both positions should assist current staff members and lend to a more cohesive workplace environment. The first position is an HR position. Through the MTAS recommendations and the realization that current procedures are lacking, we see that an HR professional will benefit in many ways. We've also heard concerns and frustrations from staff and citizens alike. And we've committed to technology upgrades, and with that, we've added funding for an IT position to better help staff with aging software and hardware systems while supporting more 21st century technology solutions for our citizens and our staff.
Thank you. Susanna.
All right, I'm going to cover moving forward. First, I'm going to talk about the Mountaintop Growth Plan. A constant topic of concern by many of the town's citizens is the rate of growth on the Walden Plateau, what can be done to manage it, and how we as citizens can participate in the ongoing conversation. It is a widely accepted fact that what happens in other parts of the mountain, those being Walden and unincorporated Hamilton County, affects us in the town limits of Signal Mountain as well. Additionally, with the selling and buying of very large tracts of land in the unincorporated areas of the mountain, questions and concerns have led to the creation of a steering committee by County Commissioner Chip Baker, who has procured county funds to contract for services with a group out of Franklin, Tennessee called Common Ground Urban Design and Planning for the creation of a comprehensive plan for that part of the mountain. This committee has met on a few occasions and is in the process of gathering feedback from any mountaintop residents who wish to help create a roadmap and vision for the future. This is critically important work and is what will eventually lead to the creation of a mountaintop growth plan that will look at Signal Mountain, Walden, and the unincorporated Hamilton County and help determine the ways in which we can work together to support each other's land use plans. Now I'm going to talk about the interconnect. A backup source of water in the event of an interruption has been a pressing issue with the town for a really long time. In fact, Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, or TDEC, has recommended for many years that we get this done. There have been discussions in the past with Walden Ridge Utility District to make it happen, but we could never reach an agreement to move forward. Our first interim town manager, Mitch Moore, recognized the importance of getting the interconnect discussions going again, especially with the possibility of using American Rescue Plan, or ARP funds, to assist. Our new water utility director, Matt Justice, has hit the ground running and has been instrumental in building relationships to bring the interconnect closer to reality. We will have further discussions with WRUD and hope to achieve a resolution on the interconnect in the very near future, using those federal funds that will significantly reduce the cost to the town's taxpayers. And now I get the pleasure of talking about our new town manager, Elaine Brunell. She's been working in the capacity as interim town manager for about a month and has already made a significant impact during her short time with us. We are receiving very positive feedback from citizens, department heads, and staff alike, and are beyond pleased at the pace with which she has embraced this work and is making headway towards the future. Ms. Brunell has already begun to implement new policies and procedures that will have a positive net impact on the town's record-keeping and organization. Her background in the Navy and her experience and rank as commander lends itself to understanding clean internal processes and clear direction for department heads and staff members' duties and responsibilities. This council is also in the process of developing a performance evaluation policy for the town manager for the purpose of setting expectations and accountability standards. Providing clear and transparent checks and balances now and in the future is the centerpiece of our planning.
Thank you. All right. On the topic of technology for the future, having the right equipment, policies, and procedures in place to support processes and expectations is crucial to modernizing our town for the future. So we're talking about new software. We're planning big changes to move away from local government into a more user-friendly software for town staff and citizens. This change should not only improve efficiencies, but should save money, which will improve available resources. Additionally, once we move on from local government, we will be able to save money replacing outdated computers and other hardware, as we will no longer be bound by the local government contract, which requires us to pay extra to buy it through them. We're also working on a user-friendly website. We've had plans to update our website for a long time, and it just hasn't happened. Our goal is to implement a new, updated, and more user-friendly website during the upcoming year. Online payments, we are working to accommodate and expand access to online payments, which will make Signal Mountain more progressive and provide better service for our citizens. Social media policy. It's important that we implement more policies to ensure the most effective operation of our town. One pressing need is a social media policy that will help us improve how we communicate to the public by making sure the public is receiving consistent messaging across different social media platforms. Our budget also includes some funding for a part-time social media coordinator. Right now, Sam Ewan, who is here, has been taking care of the town's social media. He's done that for a while, and we appreciate that. But he's moved on to the position of training captain in the fire department, and with a social media coordinator in place, we're able to let him focus his full efforts on that important work and have someone who focuses only on social media do that. Live streaming and a live stream policy. As you all know, our meetings are open to the public. They always have been, and they're advertised on our website and Facebook page and in email blasts. In the past, we've offered the option of live streaming, but personnel changes and the resulting impact on our budget caused us to temporarily suspend live streaming until we could implement a plan through the new budget. Our budget includes up to $15,000 to properly outfit our town council room with easy-to-use equipment that will allow us to live stream and or record all town council meetings, as well as board and committee meetings, without impacting our employees. That's the goal. We don't want to impact our employees. We want to be able to do this with a flip of a switch and make it happen. The town manager will be doing a review of the existing equipment and obtaining recommendations to implement the best system to provide another level of access for citizen engagement. Included will be a live stream policy to make sure we have consistency in providing this extra service. Our intent is to not offer a short-term solution, but to offer a long-term solution that will serve the town for years to come. Long-range planning for expenditures. We have a good amount of federal funds available to assist with needed town projects. It's the ARP funds that Susanna mentioned. And those include stormwater updates and repairs and other items, and we plan to move forward to implement these projects. You will see your federal tax dollars at work in your community saving you money, doing the things that no one wants to pay for. Implementing policies and procedures. I can't tell you how much we've used MTAS in the past. They are a really valuable resource for our town. So after we passed our budget last year, we pledged to analyze our processes to make sure we were operating efficiently and to determine whether we can make adjustments, and not only to better serve the community, but also to maybe free up some needed resources. MTAS is conducting this department by department review at no cost to the town, and we look forward to completing the project. This in-depth, introspective review of our town has never been done by the Town Council of Signal Mountain, and we're able to do it through a professional organization at no cost to the town. The next item here is pay study and MTAS. Again, MTAS. This next budget year, we will ask MTAS to conduct a follow-up pay study so that we better understand where we are after implementing the pay scale that was recommended by Burris Thompson last year. It's important to obtain objective data so we are fully informed when we make decisions for the future. We had Mr. Edgman earlier talking to us about the fire department, and that's what this pay study, that's one item that this pay study would look at, is they'll give us a study that will not only address the fire department, but will address every other department we have at every staff position. And that's at no cost to the town. Again, MTAS is such a valuable resource. The town council is committed to keeping the quaint, small town character of our town while also working towards building a modern and effective town government. The town government is responsible for managing 13 million public dollars, which is no small task. I encourage those who have questions about how or why the town is managing these public dollars to ask questions and get informed, because an informed citizenry is the key to our town's well-being. So that concludes our budget year review.
These are the extra copies.
Oh, we have extra copies.
We also have extra copies of the strategic plan.
While we're passing those out, I want to let you all know that MTAS is the Municipal Technical Advisory Service. I realize that sometimes we talk in initials and people don't know what that is. So that's what it is. It's an organization through the state that helps all municipalities.
Thank you. You know what? Why don't we put this over on the table and you guys can
Okay.
take a copy with you as you go, or maybe you can get up and go get one now if you want to. All right. Next item is the public hearing regarding the fiscal year 2022 through 2023 budget. This is another opportunity for folks to address council if they would like to and talk about the budget, which is Andrew's favorite topic. So if anyone would like to talk about that, feel free to come forward. All right. You're standing. I may make you come up. All right. Okay, so last chance. All right. So now we'll address our, we do have someone.
I had a question about in the budget.
You can come up.
That you
Does she need to give her
wanted
name and
allot
address
up
again?
15,000
Hold on. I just want to make sure you don't have to give your name and address again. She's already been up here once, but
Sorry, I can, do me
you
to
can do it again, yeah, if you
Okay,
don't mind.
I'm Alex Parks, and I'm at 920 Glamis Circle.
Okay.
That's in Burnwood.
All right.
That you're allocating 15,000 potentially for audio videos or live streaming. Cannot someone with a decent cell phone do that? I mean, really, I take several online courses, and it's live stream.
I think what we're looking for is something that can outfit the town for years to come.
I see.
That everybody can use. I mean, if we're relying on somebody to show up and use their cell phone and they may not, maybe
They
there's
might show
no,
up. I get it. I
nobody
just wanted
here.
to mention,
I
that's
think one issue that we've had previously is the sound quality as well. So people that, with the previous system, even if they were sitting at home and could see us, sometimes they couldn't hear us. And so this new system will streamline that process. And also, and most importantly, it's not just for town council meetings, it's also other meetings that need to be conducted in public as well, like our planning commission, and, different kinds of committees like that meet here.
Okay.
And I'll add that we set up to 15. I mean, I
see.
think.
It may not take that long.
Yeah, it may not.
I used to work in
maybe a
video
fraction.
conferencing. I think it can be done for less, but yeah, that audio quality is something
All right.
I hear over and over after meetings. I think everybody, it's weird, this room shape or something. I think everybody can hear me fine, but then they say they didn't hear a word I said, and the video
and if you watch
says
some of the
same.
videos, you don't know who's talking. The camera seems to be so far away,
I
you
see.
can't tell who's talking. So I don't
Okay.
know. Our goal is to make this, a modern and effective and efficient.
Inconsistent. I
And
mean, I think like
consistent,
that
yeah.
was one of the big things too. One of the big complaints we've had
All
was the
right.
consistency. I think, part of the other part of the up to $15,000 is to make sure that we have the proper services.
I see.
As well.
All right, thank you.
You're
Thank
asking
you.
a question a lot of other people have, so I'm glad you brought it up.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you asking it. Thank you.
All right, does that get everybody going? Does anybody else want to address the council about the budget? No? All right. Fair enough. Okay, so we're now to the ordinances. First is an ordinance of the town of Signal Mountain, Tennessee, adopting no, this is not right. I must have skipped something. The first is the stormwater fee. That must be,
Wait, I don't think we have.
maybe it's out of order a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're just a little out of order. It's all right.
That's fine.
I got it. Okay, the first is an ordinance amending section 18-808 of the Town Code of to establish new fees for the town of Signal Mountain stormwater utility. And this is the second reading.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Okay, the next ordinance is an ordinance of the town of Signal Mountain, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2023, hereinafter known as the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget ordinance.
Move to approve.
All right.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. And the last ordinance is an ordinance to amend Title V, Chapter 4, Section 5-401 through Section 5-407 of the Signal Mountain Town Code relative to purchasing requirements by the town of Signal Mountain, Tennessee. Do we have this is something we discussed at our budget workshop. Do we have a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion?
I have a couple things on here.
Okay.
First, and this is just technical stuff, it's not really about the meat of this. In the 5-402, it reads, must be approved by the town manager or in his absence, the mayor or the town recorder. I'm wondering if we could update that language with something a little more current and have it read, must be approved by the town manager or in the absence of the town manager, instead of using a gender-specific.
That's reasonable and fair. I
Yep.
think that's a good idea. And
Okay.
are there other places within the ordinance that make that reference?
I don't
Do
believe
you remember?
in this ordinance, no.
Okay.
That's the only one in this ordinance. And then my question, and I did talk with Harry earlier, again on that same 5-402, it says, in the absence, the mayor or the town recorder would give approval. My question was something based on our charter, which in Article 4, Section 3, it reads, the mayor shall be recognized as the head of the town government for all ceremonial purposes, but shall have no administrative duties. And so I'm wondering if this wording is out of line with what our charter is, because I do believe approving a purchase would be an administrative duty.
It does seem that way.
So I don't know if we could change it to acting town manager, because that is a title in our charter.
That is true, yeah.
We did talk about that, Councilmember Baker and I talked about that earlier, and I think that's correct, that the mayor should be removed in that section, and somebody else could be substituted.
Okay.
Well, I think you're right. If the town manager is not available, we do have an acting town manager.
Yeah, and I
that
think
could-
the town recorder, being the finance director, would also work
Yeah.
as well. So having three options to gain advanced approval, I think, is good. So I'll make a motion to change the language in 5-402 to all purchases involving expenditures of $5,000 through $14,999.99 must be approved in advance by the town manager, or in the absence of the town manager, the acting town manager or the town recorder.
Okay, and just to be clear, you're moving to amend the
To
previous
amend.
motion to make that change?
Yes.
and there needs to be a second to the motion to amend.
I'll make a second to the motion to amend.
Okay,
And then whoever moved
To
to approve initially, and whoever
Did we?
seconded need
It was
to
me.
yeah,
Okay,
agree, well, vote on the amendment.
all right.
okay.
So we have a motion to amend the ordinance at issue to make some changes to section 5-402.
No, you need a motion, you need to vote on the motion to amend the motion to approve.
Right, right.
Okay.
So that's what's on the table right now, is a motion to amend the motion. And we have a motion for that and a second. Do we need any discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. So now, the motion to adopt this ordinance has been amended to reflect the changes to section 5-402, replacing the words "in his absence" in the third line with the absence of the town manager, and replacing the word "mayor" with "acting town manager." So with those changes, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, that motion passes as amended.
Can I think maybe this would be the appropriate time. Given all the discussion we've had tonight, we've just passed our budget on the second reading. We've talked about all of the ambitious plans we have moving forward in the coming year, and the fantastic job that Ms. Brunell has been working on our behalf for over a month now, and the results that we're already all seeing. I was wondering if anybody would be interested in entertaining a motion to give her a permanent town manager status and remove the interim.
I would second a motion like that.
I would make a
Third
motion like that.
I will third that motion.
Yes.
So,
I think that.
would you like to make that motion?
Yeah, and I'll just say, I feel like we've made a ton of progress. We've worked really hard. We've got a bright, exciting future ahead, and we've got a commander ready to lead us to new progress. So I'm really excited to have her here.
Yes, absolutely. So let's just say you've made a motion, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
A motion to I guess, remove the interim tag and negotiate a contract with Ms. Brunell to be the permanent town manager.
That's what I said.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Well, we have a second, third, fourth, and
Yeah.
Second, third, fourth, and fifth, yes,
All right.
we do.
I'd just like to add, I think people's actions speak louder than their words, and I've received already numerous accounts of citizens, as well as talking with some employees of Ms. Brunell's excellent work. It's been a noticeable impact by a lot of folks, and I'm really excited for it to continue.
Thank you so very much. Kind of speechless in so many ways, but the staff, the citizens, and council, you've all been such a pleasure to work with, and it's making my job easier. And I know that doesn't come very late, but it really does make my job easier because I'm able to speak with staff and citizens and in the council. So communication is really key and important to making changes, and change is not always easy. But I think we got the right team, and just the overall excitement to do the right thing and bring all of our processes up to a modern standard. So thank you. I'm really, really, truly excited. So appreciate that.
we are so excited to have you here, and glad.
I was afraid you'd say no.
We haven't scared her off yet.
Yes.
I guess we need to vote though, right?
Right, we have a motion and a second. I mean, if anybody has any other comments, feel free, or we can vote. All right, all in favor?
Aye. Woo.
Anyone opposed? Absolutely not. Okay, so we'll talk, and hopefully we can get that taken care of soon.
So while we're
Thank
in
you.
the middle of making motions, I'm going to make one that's not nearly as exciting. I would like to put forward a motion to put out an RFQ for a new auditing firm for the budget that we just passed. So that is my motion.
I would second that motion.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for a new auditing firm. Any discussion?
Great idea, thank you.
All right.
I have set a reminder in my alarm for the past year and a half because every time council's just a little too late to get an RFQ out. So I think it's important to just put an RFQ out and see what services are available.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
May I ask, because it was unclear to me, did you say RFP or RFQ?
Q,
sorry.
correct?
Okay, that's correct.
That's
I
what
may
I
have
thought
said
I needed to
RFP.
say.
Sorry. Okay, any other motions? No, all right. So, there is nothing on the discussion items. We do have the manager's report, COVID policy update.
So attached in the packet was the COVID policy update to reflect the following changes: to follow the current CDC guidelines that are published, and I do have them available if anybody needs to read them, but we'll make them available to all employees. And then also employees will be required to use any available sick vacation time if they're out for COVID. If all that time has been exhausted, there are two options: out with unpaid leave or qualified for donated sick leave.
Okay.
And then removing the requirement for facial masks, social distancing, and signage are no longer required. Not unless, as we previously discussed, that if, closely monitoring, and if we do need to implement that policy, it will be addressed immediately.
I have a question about, would the short-term disability insurance be something that could support, I don't know, I'm just thinking out of the box, employees if they are out with no days left for COVID?
That's something I don't have the immediate answer for, but I can look into it
Okay,
and
that'd be great.
and get you the answer to that.
I know from experience, a lot of policies have made it clear to exclude that this year. So I don't know if ours was amended or not, but worth looking into.
Yeah, short-term, it could be something in their short-term disability policy that our employees have.
It's worth looking into, and so I'll get that answer.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
I do have a couple of other things
Oh, yeah.
that
All right.
I would like to report. That so we are working to prepare the State of the Town 2021-2022, and will be available. That date has changed. I was incorrect on the next working meeting, so it will be August 8th is the next regular meeting, and so we'll have it ready for you before then.
Thank you.
There is a business tax 2022 course coming up offered by MTS in Collegedale that Katie and I will be attending. We did start doing interviews this morning for the finance clerk, and we have several more throughout the week. We have some very strong candidates for the position, so, and we have a total of 7 interviews this week. Was it 7 or 6? 8. Oh, we had another one added on there, so I stand corrected. 8 interviews this week. So something coming up that needs to be addressed, but Matt and I will be attending the TPO Technical Coordinating Committee meeting tomorrow. So we'll attend that, but there is a resolution out there that just needs to be amended, identifying me as the proxy to attend these meetings, but I'll go for this meeting and then bring back the resolution that needs to be updated for the next council meeting. Also, last week I started doing facility walkthroughs of all town facilities with our building manager. So just getting an overall holistic view of the condition of the town's facilities, so I can have a better idea of developing that 5-year maintenance plan on a continuous basis. I think we need to approach things a little bit more holistically and not just doing what we can to Band-Aid something. So I have started doing that and keeping track of those facility conditions. Also, I will be attending the Southeast City Managers meeting on the 20th of July to establish that networking throughout the different city managers. And I have actually done some office calls with Red Bank, and I have an office call with Walden coming up this week as well. And then lastly, the Tennessee Comptroller's Office will be providing open meeting and public records training to the staff on the 26th of July. And the seating is limited to 40, and if whatever we have available left over, I intend to offer that to our surrounding cities and towns if they're wanting to send their staff to it as well. And so this is a free training that is provided by the comptroller, and they're going to come to Signal Mountain to provide it for us. And it will be on the 26th at 1 o'clock, and we're going to be shutting down Town Hall for a few hours for staff training and development. So my intention for that is also not only to receive the training, but come back to Town Hall and apply what we just learned.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, do we have any other business in the form of communications and reports from the mayor or council or committees or boards?
Yes, I have some from the Parks Board. Just to get a little less gentle reminder, we really do. We have some great hungry folks wanting to really do some positive things for the town on the board. Every time that we meet, they ask me, when are you going to get that social media policy in place so we can have a Parks Board Facebook page and start organizing lots of good, work, helping out the town staff and clearing trails and cleaning up some of our parks. So just a little extra motivation there. Our next working session to hopefully we can work through a lot of that, or at least get to a point where we're able to provide boards like that an opportunity to use those platforms.
Okay.
And then the other thing was the kiosk that they had requested funding for, but the discussion was around kind of, well, we don't even know what that would cost, so it's I kind of gave the guidance of why don't we get a good estimate so council knows what we're talking about here. I have no idea if it's $100 or if it's thousands.
Where would that be?
So this is for the mountain biking trails back in the woods back here that run along behind the recycle center as well. I think they're called the cam loops. Obviously, I'm not a mountain biker. And apparently they are very beloved, and there's like a whole route system you can kind of map out, and the proposal I think is to have like a kiosk kind of like at the entrance to Rainbow Lake over by the soccer field behind Town Hall here, where I think kind of the main entrance is, to just kind of show the routes, show where you can get, and to do that. So
Okay.
but we're getting Jared and I believe the chair of the board, we're going to work on getting a good estimate of, kind of what that might cost, so that we can consider it. And I think, they're looking to get that decision so that they can, if we cannot fund it, they'll organize the support to make it happen.
The Boy Scouts, a lot of those kids are looking for projects to do, and you might get some that would be interested in helping build
Yeah.
a kiosk.
Well, so this was like a total random thing, was talking with a guy I worked with 10 years ago about something completely different, and found out he's like the treasurer of the Chattanooga Mountain Biking Association or something like that. So I was like, hey, I got some questions for you. And well, he's like, what are you talking about for a kiosk and all this? And he was like, man, literally that's not going to cost much of anything. And he's like, I'll get out there and help them put it up. Like, I've done that several times. So we'll get all that clarity, I think, in our next meeting, and then have something to move forward or not with on the kiosk front. I mean, if it's so inexpensive too, it might just be like, well, they may just say, okay, let's organize some effort to get this done.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Any other updates or reports from the committees or boards? Okay. Any other business? All right, our tentative agenda is attached. Our next meeting is July 25th. Thank you guys for coming. We are adjourned.